I really... Hey, Shalom, giving all praises, acknowledgement, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harakah, Ha, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that have taught us this truth, and they continue to teach us. And Shalom to our brothers doing this mighty and powerful works in hopes of salvation. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which means He is, He exists. And Yahweh Shai is the name of the beloved Son, who the world would ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Yahweh Shai meaning He deliverer. Bahashim just means in the name. So, people have found out that the Israelis, they're not the chosen people of God. In fact, the chosen people of God are in America. The so-called black man, the so-called Hispanic man, the so-called Native American man. And this information was made famous by our teachers here in the land of America. Began to ask myself, what is the root of this issue with black people? Like, is someone hiding something from us, like the people who rule over us? Because I don't know, I'm getting like this feeling that it goes a lot deeper than we think, a lot more spiritual. Look what Deuteronomy 28 says. And the Lord will take you back to Egypt in ships by the way of which I said to you, you shall never see it again. And there you shall be offered for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but no one will buy you. Do you think it's possible that he says Egypt, he's actually talking about bondage and oppression? That when God says you are going to go back to Egypt, he's actually talking about returning to the bitter life of slavery and oppression? And when he says no one will buy you, do you think it means suffering will be absolute? There will be no one to rescue or redeem you from your captors? And that this warning is a punishment or a curse for turning away from God and breaking his laws? So even the scholars, they're becoming our students. We're talking about college grads, major famous people that study the Bible. They have become our students. And this information is not of us, it's of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. But look at it, man. The knowledge that we are the Israelites has spread, man. That's the gospel. That's the good news to you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that you are the Israelites and that the Most High is going to give you a kingdom where you're no longer a slave. Right? Hosea chapter 1 and 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea. And the sand of the sea covers the whole earth. So pretty much our people, they are everywhere. They're not the minority. They're the majority. And also, if you look at sand, it has different colors. So our people, they're everywhere and they look like everybody, which cannot be measured nor numbered. So no census, no counting could put a number on how great we are in number. There's too much Israelites on the earth, man. What, the population is what, 7 billion or something of that sort, 8 billion? Well, majority of that number is Jakes, man, which cannot be measured nor numbered, which the so-called white man, he loves to put a number on an estimation, and he loves to do census, but you can't put a number on our people.
because our people are vast. And it shall come to pass, and that prophecy is fulfilled and currently still going. All right, this has come to life. That in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. So that place is America. All right, the information is so vast to where everyone is saying the black man in America. Why are they only saying the black man? Because Judah is known for bringing this information out. But really, the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are also the sons of God, man. Yasharallah, he Prince of the Power. That's what our name means, sons of God. All right? And this information has traveled across the whole earth to where one of the ministers of the Israeli government said the biggest threat to them is the black youth in America. So us being recognized as the chosen people has showed who's committing identity fraud, and is threatening society. All right, because here it is, you didn't enslave the sons of God. You don't think you're gonna pay for that? So ye are not my, that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people. So what they call us over here, fucking color? What are we, a crayon? They call us black. I'm not black. I'm brown. All right? They call us Afro-American. What is it, a fucking hairstyle? They call you African American. That's two different Edomite conquerors that conquer, that's two different continents. That doesn't make any fucking sense. So they call us bywords. And those bywords are saying that we're not God's people. But now it's being said the Israelites are the so-called black man, the so-called Hispanic man, the so-called Native American man. And people are starting to see it. They're starting to see it, man. Because of the curses. All right? She goes into the curses. And the curses is an indicator that they're for a sign, bro. They're for a sign that we're the people. All right?
You see, because now when I go back to reanalyze everything about the slavery, about the blacks, about them being enslaved, them being oppressed, they kind of fit the description a lot more, the description of the Israelites in the Bible, than those currently in the Holy Land. But this is just my theory, right? I'm just an outsider looking in. This is just my theory, my conclusion from, I don't know, reading the Bible and then looking back at history.
These people are so full of it. They're so full of it. This is your theory. This is your conclusion. No, this fucking information is out there. Stop it. Everyone's acting like they just put two and two together. You cannot put two and two together. The Most High's men have put two and two together for you people. All right? And then talking about the people in the land, they put two and two together. The people in the land is not the real people. No shit, man. They're over there committing genocide. You know? So yeah, man, it's here in America that the Israelite movement is being has been known for and has been spreading, because it came out of America, starting with our apostles and elders, our teachers. All right, let's get Amos chapter 9. Because what is happening is not only us being put back to remembrance, the house of David is coming back together. All right, and the house of David, when it was established, both the north and the south were at peace. All right, and that's what you're seeing happening now. We have set that vibration where our tribes have been so divided, of course, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. They've been so divided, fighting against each other, Mexican versus blacks, browns versus blacks, all this dumb division shit, But ever since the Lord brought the tabernacle of David back on earth, the house of David back, the unity has come to the tribes. Amos chapter 9 and 11, and in that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. And the house of David was mighty, man. That's when we were on top in the glory of our kingdom. So now these men are back, and close up the breaches thereof, because we was once split up. We was split up, man. After Solomon, it was, the tribes was at each other. They were, they weren't joined. Now look at the word breaches. Breaches. The gap. Broken wall. So the gap between our people has been closed, man. We're united now. That's why when you see us teaching, you see a brother that's look like Cuban. You see a brother that look like, Mexican or Salvadorian or Venezuelan. Teaching with a brother that looks Native American. Because that gap between us, them breaches, the Most High has closed it. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. So the Most High is bringing back the restoration of Israel, like it says right here. All right? The tabernacle, the house of Dawadah, man. And guess what? What was the house of David known for? For being mighty. All right? Mighty men. Straight killers, man. Hey, we're going to get back to the way it was the days of old, where we had that power, man. In due time, the Lord will. All right? So now we've been risen back up. And now our enemies are very upset, because they have poured so much lies and deception, so much bullshit on our people, so much deception, so much psychological warfare they have run on our people, that they made it impossible for us to to find out who we are. Even Willie Lynch, his philosophy was to destroy us, to keep us in a cycle, and to break us. And he said the only way we could break out of it is through a divine intervention. Yeah, that fucking guy, man. Guess what? That divine intervention that has happened. Psalms 50 and 21. Let's actually start. Let's start at 19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil. That's Esau, the so-called white man. And thy tongue frameth deceit. Yeah, man, that's one of his weapons. Deceit, lies. He could easily fool people, because he got that silver tongue, you know. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. All these decades, all these kingdoms risen and fell, the statue in Daniel, and you still hate your brother, Jacob, the Negro, Hispanic, and Native American man. You know, you still hate us, and it shows, man. All right. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. Yeah, and these damn devils, they get together and curse us. You know, sacrifice to their deities and their demons. And they curse Jacob, man. You know, put enchantments on our people. You know. And also, you ever peep the news? Anything bad that the so-called black man does, or Hispanic man, they got a perfect picture for him. You know, when it's anybody else, they hide it. You just hear the story. So thou slanderest thine own mother's son. And we're from the same womb. Going back to what's it? Salakia. Yeah, man, going back to when you was born. All right, from a righteous man. All right, Isaac. And you use our brother. You know? But of course, the story was made this way. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. These things has thou done. So you have painted us to be the bad guys. You have painted the so-called black man to be the aggressor, the murderer. You have painted the so-called black man to be evil, while you have painted yourself to be a saint, a savior, the good guy. You know, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. So for a while, the prophets wasn't on the scene. You had hundreds of years to establish yourself. And how have you done that? Through slavery, through raping, robbing, and murdering our people. And the prophets weren't on the scene. So you thought the Most High forsaken his people. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such and one as thyself. You thought the Most High was with you, the way you was doing our people. But I will reprove thee and set them in order. So the reproof has happened. The Most High has risen us up and given us this information, which is it's a virus in your matrix. All right, it's taking your whole system down. All right, that's the power of truth, man. It destroys lies. And set them in order before thine eyes. Not only wake us up and reprove you for all the bullshit you done to keep us in darkness and not knowing who we are, but to set us in order. Because all we've known is disorder from you fucking devils, man. From everything. Learning how to be what do you call it? Learning how to be man, the word slipped my mind. From everything. Learning how to live, learning how to have proper etiquette, learning how to be courteous, learning how to have hospitality, learning how to be honest and true and all that, man. You know? Learning how to have character, because this world, these devils, they just teach you to be like them, which is wicked as hell, man. You know, now the Most High set us in order. Now we live by the lifestyle of this book. You know, we try our best. You know, we don't live off instinct. You know, set them in order before thine eyes. So now you're seeing the prophets, and you're terrified. They are terrified. All right? So the Most High has set us in order. Yeah, now we could truly say we better than you damn devils, because we don't do what you do. We don't prey on little kids and, you know, we don't eat whatever. We don't say whatever. We don't do whatever. We don't deal with people deceitfully or lie to them and shit. But yeah, man, let's get the scripture I had in mind was, besides this one, stand on their feet. No account. Yeah, these devils are in fear, man. The worst nightmare has come to pass. Us finding out who we are. Because now you can no longer pull that supremacy shit on us. Now we know you're way beneath us. You're way beneath even a goddamn... You're way beneath the lowest, nastiest Elamite. Alright, the scriptures call you the bases of men. You lower than a goddamn Moab and Ammon. Alright, so Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him. And that's you so-called white people. You have afflicted us. There's systemic racism in everything. Literally, the other day, me and the bro was hooping. And every time we hoop, the lights go off at like certain time, 10:30 or so. And right next to the setup is a baseball field and a tennis court. The tennis courts, you could go 2 a.m., you could go 1 a.m., you could go 3 a.m. The lights are on. You could turn the lights on. Now, you might be like, nah, ain't nothing. But you know it's something because they want Jakes out of their community at a certain time. And these heathens, they could use their courts whatever time they want. So systemic racism is a big thing. And that's just a fucking park. Imagine loans, banks, taxes. The fucking IRS targets the so-called black Hispanic man. But people just play stupid like they don't see this. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness. We standing in great boldness because we're literally risking our lives. The stuff we speak about, Esau have killed men for less. Right? And then they show up as they off themselves. Nope. The Spirit gives us this boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him. So you so-called white people, you're hearing this. You're going to hear your judgment. And made no account of his labors. Yeah, you never give us credit. You never give us credit for our inventions, how the so-called black man made everything. And then you try to act like you're better than us. We literally invented everything. We built America. Our people. And now you got the so-called Hispanics. They're maintaining America. Judah built America. Now Issachar and the rest of the northern kingdom are maintaining America. Keeping the grass neat. Keeping the roads paved. Keeping the buildings together. But you still won't give Jake credit for nothing. It says, verse 2, when they see it, what are they going to see? They're going to see us being teleported into spaceships. You bitch-ass motherfuckers, man. You look down on us so much, huh? Guess what? We're going to be teleported into spaceships. How about that? They shall be troubled with terrible fear. Yeah, man, terrible fear. Because you done trodden down the Most High's people. And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. Yeah, because ain't nothing like this. Ain't nothing like this happen. People just being by the masses just being beamed up. And they're going to see Hispanic, Native Americans, and so-called black men. No harness. No string attached to them. Just flowing up into the air. And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. What do they look for? They look for us, like that brother Harag would say, they look for us to die off in a crack house, doped up, in them ghettos, homeless. They look for us to be at them jobs, slaving, while they, they splurge and, live lavish. That's what they look for. That's what they look forward to for our future. Check out that movie, Size Down. That brother Zakar always mention it. the movie where they size down, and then even in that movie, they had Jake in the ghetto. Can you believe this shit? So far, behold, far beyond all that they look for. And they repented and groaning for the anguish of spirit. So that's the only time an Edomite gonna feel some type of remorse or some type of feeling of regret. When they see us enter into the glory of the Lord. And they repented and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision. Yeah, the same ones you call niggas, spick, nigger, wetback, tomahawk, you know, all type of names. Monkey, black, dirty Mexican. All right. And a proverb of reproach. And best believe these so-called white people, they talk so much shit about us. Even if you work with them or you're your boss, man, when they go home, you the hot topic. They talk so much shit, you know, about how they got over on you. Yeah, that fucking nigga, man. I had to humble him. And the look on his face. You know, they relish in that shit. Can't believe that monkey tell me how to do my job. You know, they go home and do that. So far beyond all that they look for, they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, because they know they fucked up. Shall say with themselves, this is he whom we had in derision, and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. But guess what? Our end is going to be with honor, with respect and glory. All right? Fulfilling that prophecy is one vessel unto dishonor and one unto vessel unto honor. And that's going to be Jacob, the Negro, Hispanic, and Native American man.
Them being oppressed, they kind of fit the description a lot more. My theory, my conclusion, getting close.
28, because the majority of the slaves that were brought to the Caribbean islands and brought to the Americas were Hebrew people, were people of Hebrew and Hebraic Israelite descent, if you will.
You don't think they know that when they had us in the ship that we were speaking Hebrews? You don't think they have that recorded? Come on, man. Esau could tell you history about the prolific era, the Stone Age era, the Dark era. They have the history, man.
And so if you read Deuteronomy chapter 28, it matches perfectly what happened to the Hebrew slaves, the black Hebrew slaves, during the slave trade. It just matches it perfectly.
You guys, you need to read some old books. So check this out. I got this book called American Antiquities and Discoveries in the West. It's by Josiah Priest. And this is a reprint from 1833. And it's got some really interesting details about who the Europeans encountered when they got to the Americas. This is stuff they don't tell you in school. And so Josiah Priest goes on to quote a professor named Rathenisk. And here's what he writes. The Americans could not have sprung up from a single nation because independently of the languages, their features and complexions are as various as in Africa and in Asia. We find in America white, tawny, brown, yellow, olive, copper, even black nations as in Africa. Also dwarfs and giants, handsome and ugly, flat and aquiline noses, thick and thin lips. That's pretty interesting, huh? It also goes on to say that in Florida, the Indians there and the Choctaws worshipped a god called Yehovah or Jehovah, kind of like Jehovah. And as we're told, there wasn't a J in the ancient dialect, so kind of sounds like the God of the Bible. And that's really interesting when you consider that Christopher Columbus thought he landed in the land of Azareth, as prophesied by Esdras in 2nd Esdras. And this was the land where the 10 lost tribes of Israel were to travel to. So guys, he thought the Indians were Hebrews, part of the lost 10 tribes of Israel. History is way more interesting than we were ever taught.
The reason?
See, they knew. Christopher Columbus, he brought Hebrew interpreters with him. Why would you do that? Because you know you was going to run into some Hebrews. Some Israelites. The Native Americans, man.
It matters that Jesus is...
No. Salakia. The Northern Kingdom.
Black. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It doesn't matter. It matters, bro. We stole an entire identity from these people. There was a race that was related and identified with his personality. He wanted a redemptive story.
What's that we discovered? Oh, it's bringing such joy to me.
These people are scared, man. Hey, man, you need proof? Hey, the Russian icons. The Russian icons show who you would ignorantly call Jesus painted as a black man. You know, shows the apostles, the saints as black men.
You don't even know. We didn't even know what to do with this information at first. Like, what does this mean? It's a people. It's not a land. And the people in Israel are not the Israelites. It's all throughout the Bible. All the Bible, look it up online. It's easy. And you tell me.
Someone with feet like burnt brass and white woolly hair.
Yeah, man, this world's gonna pay. When they find out that God is a black man, you motherfuckers are fucked. Alright? When you find out your creator looks like the people that you've been hating on and you've been mistreating, you're fucked. When he sent his son, an austere black man, all you motherfuckers are fucked. Alright? Matthews 24:14, in this gospel of the kingdom. So this is all good news. Even the bad that was meant to happen to this place is good news, because that means this world is ending and ours is beginning. This gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world. So this information is going through all the world by the internet. For a witness unto all nations. So the Most High is fair. He's gonna allow everyone to hear the word, hear this information, hear their judgment. All right? And also this gospel has to reach the ears of the elect. All right? The scripture says, my sheep hear my voice and they follow. And we're the voice with the Spirit of the Lord. And when they hear us speak, do videos, just hearing, they're gonna come to this truth. They're gonna be called to the Lord, and they're gonna come. This gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So, hey, the whole world got this information now. That means this is the end of this world, man. The end of the so-called white man's rulership. That's it. You know, the elect is going to be sealed. And the Most High is going to pull Esau out of power and put his men in power. But yeah, Shalom.